is Mean, and I'll be reacting to the day I broke my ass by Markiplier, an animated video. Yeah, anyway, second video.
I wanted to do like an activity. What I tried to do was parkour, and it was like supposed to be a quote-unquote beginner parkour thing. I showed up at the place and we met in the parking garage, and it was me and 3 other dudes, and one of them had done parkour maybe. And the other 3 of us were just like complete newbies getting in there and just trying to have an adventure. We were jumping around the 4th level of the parking garage. And so we were leaping around there, we were jumping around. We would go like over the edge with like 50 feet below us, and we would just like dance around there for a little bit. And so we actually end up like dropping down 2 floors anyway but the stairs or the ramp inside. So like crawling around the building outside. And I don't die at this point. But we get down to the 2nd level, and it's time to drop from the 2nd story and do a sweet tuck and roll into this little grass patch. So the first guy goes, and he goes like drop and tuck and roll, and it's perfect, and he's fine. And then the second guy goes, and he manages to do it, a tuck and roll. And it's at this point that I realized they assumed I knew how to do a tuck and roll, which I had never done in my life. So there I am, hanging off by one hand from the 2nd story ledge of a concrete parking garage, looking at a tiny patch of grass that I'm supposed to hit. And in my head, I'm like, it can't be that hard. And so they're all giving me encouraging words. They're like, you can do it! And I'm like, I got this. I got this. And so I drop. And I landed from the 2nd story straight onto my ass. Like 100% full on into my ass. I felt something pop. Weirdly no pain, but like this stunned thing where you're like on the ground like, am I dead? Am I dead? And like weirdly enough, I seemed totally fine. I wasn't, by the way. I want to mention, I was not okay. And then the guy behind me is about to go. And he drops. And instead of falling on his ass, he fell on his face. Oh no! Like his legs hit, he went forward, he did not roll. Right into his face and chest hit the ground. And you just hear him go, like, God. Like just all the wind dropped out of him, and he's desperately like on the ground trying to get a sucking breath. So, you know, after a while, we're just standing there, we're looking at this guy dying on the ground, and we're like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? But he gets up, like, he gets up and he plays it off like, oh, I'm fine, but clearly his ribs are broken. Like, straight up, his ribs are broken. And so he gets up, he's like, I think I'm good for today, guys. I think I'm gonna go lay down. So it's like, he stumbles off, and we're watching him. We watch him walk away for like 5 minutes. So we're watching him stumble away. About the time he disappears out of view behind, you know, those hills. Like, we look at each other, we're like, all right, let's keep going, guys. You know, just like, and so we go over to this building. We get to the roof. We hear sirens when we're up on the roof. For some reason in our brain, we're like, they're coming for us. They found out. We went into the forbidden zone. And like, you know, we're like, they're gonna get us on this roof. We've committed horrible crimes. So we all panic, right? So we panic and we run off, and then again, they drop down from this 2nd story ledge onto this grassy part. So I find myself once again hanging by one hand from a 2nd story ledge looking down. But in my mind at this moment, I'm like, okay, I went backwards that last time. I'll go forwards this time. I know what my mistake was. And so I drop, and I'm like, forward, forward, forward. I saw them roll on like their shoulder. And so my legs hit the ground. I go forward, and I put 100% of my weight right onto my shoulder, and I don't move. And it's just like, I hit the ground, my shoulder just,
Thank God you did it the right way that time.
Yeah, thank God you rolled forward, saved it.
I like am down there for a while. And I'm like, I'm okay. And I look up, and they're gone.
They taught you, didn't they?
They fucking destroyed my body and then bail.
I think the only way that could be better at all is if you look up and there's like two cops just standing there. Just like, we know where you were. That's the forbidden roof.
I hope they lost their parkour teaching license after this.
Please. Thank you. What is animation? Bob's fridge? Bob's fridge? Okay, hold up. Let me watch this too.
Okay, so suffice it to say, finally, we learn that we're going to get a refrigerator. It's going to come. It's going to come 9 days after it was initially supposed to be there. Whatever.
I'm sorry,
But fine.
Bob.
Like, you know what? Fine. It's not like we needed it right away. It's just a refrigerator. And this morning, I was literally on a call with you guys. We were getting ready to do exactly what we're doing right now. And my phone starts ringing. It's the delivery guys. And I pick it up and he's like, we'll be there in 10 minutes. And I'm like, why did the system tell me 11 to 3 then? And he's like, I don't know, sir. We're on our way. And I'm like, this is
Okay.
incredibly inconvenient. Can you come at the time that you're scheduled? And he was like, nope, we're on our way. And then I literally, to you guys, I was like, okay, I gotta go, I guess. We'll do this later, right? Okay, bye. Schedules are for nerds. So that's how it starts. And they show up there and I'm like, okay, so we already tried to deliver this. You guys can't come in through the front. There's a door that it won't fit through.
Like,
You kind of have to go around back. I'll show you. And he's like, what do you mean we can't come in through the front? And I'm like, I mean, we've been here. I'm just saving you some time.
Was
It
that
won't
guy a
fit.
box?
And he's like, nah, let me measure it. And like, fine. But also, like, fuck you. Like, goddamn. So he comes in and he looks and he measures the little door into the kitchen. And he looks at me. He's like, oh, yeah, it's definitely not going to fit through here. And I look at him and I'm like, do you want to see the side yard? And so we have a fridge in there and it already has a water line because it has an ice maker. There's supposed to be some kind of shut off. These guys cannot find the shut off to the water line. And he looks at me and he's like, there should be a shut off. You should know where that is. I'm like, bro, I just fucking bought this house. Can you call the previous homeowner? Like, yeah, let me call her up. We're buddies. I bought her house and now we get dinner every 2 weeks. Obviously. God. So he just unhooks the water and the water's just like spray, and he just kinks the line real quick. Like he unhooks it and he holds it up to me and is like, I'm gonna need you to hold this so we can finish. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. Do this, get that fucking thing out of here, bring the other one in here, let's do this. And so I'm standing in my own kitchen holding a water line. There's a front window in the kitchen, so I can see they bring the old one out. I see them go out to the front where their truck is, and then I see them with the new refrigerator, and they bring it around, and so I know they're like on the way. And I'm just standing there, and I just hear from the backyard like, kerchink, whoosh, and then one guy goes, oh shit. And they just start rushing around, and I walk out there, and there's water is erupting up out of the ground like a geyser has started gushing. I don't know what has happened. Apparently, what genius number 2 did is they had the fridge on a dolly and there was a bush, and apparently just fucking destroyed this bush. But also inside this bush is a PVC pipe coming out of the ground that's part of like the irrigation system. What he did was he dragged the fridge right through the bush and snapped off the fucking PVC pipe. And what they were doing is one of them was standing there staring, like thinking, and the other one had the broken off PVC pipe. It was trying to like jam it back on, like it was just gonna slip right back on. And like they looked over at me and were like, apparently the guy who was standing there watching is the one who did it. And he looked at me and he was like, I can't believe that pipe was in there. It was hidden in there. And it's an accident, you know? And like, it's not like it's a little flower or something you could like, ooh, push it over and scoot. It's a big fucking bush. To get the thing through where he got it through, he literally had to pull it up to that gap and it stopped. And he was like, ooh, this bush is in the way. And he was just like, no, it's not. Let's go. God. Oh. Oh. I don't know what led them to that action, but there's no version of that that's not just so fucking stupid that it makes me unbelievably angry.
I'm sorry,
Finally,
Bob.
I'm like, we need to shut the water off to the house. The guy who seemed to be in charge of this was like, right, the water main. And he handed me the pipe and was like, hold this on there. And I'm standing here like, this doesn't seem like how you install a fridge.
Why can Bob bunk bed? This still wasn't what I want to watch. I want to watch so much. No, I must stop. I must contain myself. Yeah, well, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Somebody once told me the world